one has to ask themselves why $1 billion a year is the government budget of Mogadishu airport government. They provide no services. They provide no highways or roads or railways. They don't fund the military. So one has to ask oneself, where does that $1 billion a year go? What is it spent on? Is it spent for the purposes on which it was intended? Is it spent for the benefit of the population? Or is it spent in different ways, misdirected? So kind of they have a self-interest in propagating falsehoods that will perpetuate and maintain this failed state, because failed states, they benefit some people, and those people are the ones who propagate propaganda. So the reality is Somalia is a failed state. It doesn't control its own territory. It's neither sovereign nor independent. So who can blame Ethiopia for making a deal, signing an MOU with the Republic of Somaliland? A couple of quick points. They were relying heavily on international law and territorial integrity. What territorial integrity? I challenge any of my Ethiopian and Somaliland friends in this space. Next time you see a Somalian who tweets about territorial integrity, just ask them one simple question. Where is Somalia's border? Please show me the treaties or the documents by which Somalia's border was demarcated. When you say territorial integrity, which territory exactly are you referring to? Somalia does not have demarcated borders. It does not even meet the criteria of the Montevideo Convention, which requires a permanent population, territorially demarcated borders, a government, and capacity to enter into relations with other governments. Somalia probably has capacity to enter into relations with other governments, but it has neither a defined border or territory, nor a permanent population, nor a stable government. So that's what we're dealing with here. I wanted to address the point about Ethiopia. Ethiopia, if it wanted to annex any part of Somalia, it would do that with the 20,000 troops or 5,000 troops who are already there. It would do that in Bay region, in Bakol region. It would do that in Mogadishu. It would have done that in 2006 when Somalia's government invited these Ethiopian troops to come into their country. I think it was President Abdullahi Yusuf of Somalia. So really, it was just quite a shocking space, full of hypocrisy, full of lies, no respect for facts, no respect for truth. And they kept talking about annexation. Ethiopia wants to annex part of Somaliland, when again, in fact, the opposite is true. Why on earth would Ethiopia's government recognize Somaliland, recognize its sovereignty, recognize its independence, which includes Somaliland's territorial integrity, but they are spinning that and somehow saying that Ethiopia wants to annex Somaliland? Again, nothing could be further from the truth. Ethiopia recognizing Somaliland will actually give Somaliland protection under international law as a sovereign, independent country against annexation or occupation by Somalia. If there is any country that lays claim illegally to Somaliland, it is not Ethiopia, it is Somalia. If there's any country that is trying to annex and occupy Somaliland, it is Somalia. What Ethiopia is saying is, we're going to recognize you as sovereign, as independent, which gives you protections under international law as a sovereign, independent country. Protections against invasion, protection against annexation, protection against occupation. So actually Ethiopia is doing the right thing and Somalia is doing the wrong thing. But the problem is, you do sometimes wonder if people in Somalia have a sense of right or wrong, if they even believe in a sense of right or wrong. a lot of their politics, a lot of their policies seem to be amoral, free of morality, outside the bounds of morality altogether. Thank you, Edna. And that's where I stop my or end my submission.
Thank you, Dr. Adelaide. I just wanted to add on. So Ethiopia knows who the reliable partner is here. Ethiopia also, I think, is a country that adheres to international law. So Somaliland is an independent a state. For example, if Somalia always refers to the UN seat, but Somaliland has a statement written by China on 25th June of 1960 recognizing Somaliland. So China is a state, and only states can recognize another state. So talking about this UNC that they garnered illegally can be debunked very easily by these statements that Somaliland got from other states. So I'm hoping that this space, when you listen to that other, I hope you don't listen to that other space, but if you do, also listen to this one so that you can get the real facts here, because we have evidence of this. Ambabur, welcome.
Thank you so much, Edna. I know you wanted me to talk about the clan borders and things like that, the argument that they usually push toward us, but I want to add a little thing, a small thing about Adelaide. He says that is actually Ethiopia, by doing this, by recognize us, they are actually putting us in a position where we get protection from international law. But I actually want to elevate to that conversation and say that by recognizing us, Ethiopia is actually prepare itself in case anybody, any leadership in Ethiopia, let's say today Abiy is doing good, and then we get some really dictator in Ethiopia who would even think about doing something like that, they would actually be able to pinpoint themselves back because of what Ethiopia is doing today. So it's almost like a guarantee where it says if any cuckoo person come from Ethiopia and think about annexing your land, they will be actually penalized based on the thing that we are signing with you, based on the recognition that we're giving to you, you know. So it's actually one of the most beautiful things which Somalia has not done. You know, we were asked Somalia for 30 years. All those talks that they do between Somalia and Somaliland is all because we are asking them to give us guarantees. Stop your claims, you know, recognize us, respect us, and they're not doing that. But here, Ethiopia, who has no even have never even claimed us and give us a guarantee that says that by recognizing you, by signing this paper as a two countries, two independent countries, I guarantee you anybody who come after me within those 50 years or even after that do anything will be able to penalize based on our agreement. That's beautiful. That's African right there. That's a brotherhood, you know. Where compared to Somalia is the opposite, where I claim you, I'm your ruler, I can rule you in Mogadishu.
Ambabur, let me just say something, but I don't think that is the, Ethiopia has to re-recognize Somaliland. We are not actually gaining new recognition here. Ethiopia knows that if she doesn't re-recognize Somaliland, she's at peril also. If we falter Somaliland, if we falter, we fall under Somalia. What shall happen to Ethiopia? I think Ethiopia is smart enough to know that if she doesn't re-recognize Somaliland, if she keeps Somaliland in this de facto state, she also shall be jeopardized. So I don't think she's doing us a favor. I think this is very intelligent calculus.
No, it's not. It's not. She's doing a favor. She's doing a favor to herself because Coco people happen. Crazy people happen. Come, Abby. He might see a bigger picture. We don't know the next person who come who doesn't see a bigger picture. So they are doing that in the legal formality. How beautiful that. It's not like the way Somalia is doing. Let's Somali people talk with a coffee and shaha and then we're finished. There's no regality. You know, they're just like putting you in a place where you don't know what to go next, you know, and that's what Somalia wants. So that's what I'm saying here. It's they are doing in a very, very calculated way that protects them, protect us, protects the region, and also they are doing in a very, very, very African way of thinking, you know, as a brotherhood, which will never, never get from Somalia. So, and that's why I explain why Somalia is claiming us, you know, because they never had any love for us. It's just a hate, annexations, genocide, and things like that. Because anybody who do something like this, it's someone who see the bigger picture for the region, see the brotherhood, and things like that. And I hope Ethiopia stay like that, so they don't become like Somalia. And by doing actually this in a formal ways, actually there are actually state like that. So there's no guarantee because someone can say I love you, but their action is the opposite of that, and that has been the case. And it become manipulation. So that's one thing. So the second thing that I want to actually talk about, which is has been pushed by Somalia, especially clan borders. Clan borders are actually not recognized.